Welcome into Start Sit Different Day. I'm not your host. I'm the analyst, but the host didn't want to do the introduction today, so here we are. My name is Joe. Just Josh and I today. It is week 10, and if you played against Jamar Chase or had Jamar Chase, respectfully, why are you here? You don't need to worry about it, right? Go home. You could still apple pick maybe in certain spots. It's snowing in Colorado. Maybe go skiing on Sunday, early ski time. If you didn't play against Jamar Chase or don't have Jamar Chase, then you have a legit shot this week, and we're here to help you through all those questions. Let's get into it.
Welcome, everybody, to Start Sit Different Day. I am actually the host, Joshua Hudson. Joe, thank you for covering me on the intro. I knew you'd have something fun to say after the bonanza of points on Thursday night. And you know what? Your dry level of optimism, it's just chef's kiss, baby.
Optimism?
I said what I said for a reason.
Zero optimism. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I am here to tell you that if you are a fantasy manager that went against Jamar Chase, you do still have a shot.
No, you don't.
Because there were other people that had points in those games. Yes,
No. Yes, you did. I'm down 71-0. I don't have a chance. I've accepted defeat. I looked at my lineup and I'm like, these are all the guys I think they're to score the highest points and have the most upside. So here we go. We're riding with these guys. So I don't
know. I mean, I had Jamar Chase in one league, and I'm playing Ryan. He had Joe Burrow. I'm playing against Jamar Chase in one league. I had Lamar Jackson. That's all I'm saying. You still have a chance.
Some of us aren't as fortunate. Some of us have Kyler Murray.
You know what? I'm sorry that you don't know how to draft, Joe.
I do know how to draft. Apparently, in 3 leagues this year, I have more points for than the team in second place, but I'm in the bottom half of the league. So apparently this year fantasy football just hates me. So I love that.
That's why you need to introduce median scoring in your leagues.
Good luck. I can barely get people to want to do fab median scoring. It's like introducing Christianity back when they were going over into Africa. They're like, "What is this?" There's no winning there, Josh. There's no winning.
Goodness. Oh goodness. All right, before we get into the injuries, let's pay a few bills. Let's talk about our sister site, Women in Fantasy Football, and their great partnership with Trophy Smack. You could get one of these nice, fancy little championship belts, and they do offer free or customization as well, which is pretty damn sweet. So head over to trophysmack.com/WOFF. That's WOFF, and get all of your achievement-based needs. Anything from championship belts to trophies, to championship rings, wall smack to decorate your office, your hallways, your kids' rooms, all that good stuff. It is available at trophysmack.com/WOFF. WOFF. That unique affiliate link, when you use that, it allows us to provide assistance to the women that we send to NFL media events, i.e. the Super Bowl, the NFL Combine, the NFL Draft, all these different places. We want to be able to help them and not just provide them a pass. So use this link, get all your achievement-based needs. Christmas is coming up. There's a lot of cool Christmas gifts on there. You can get stuff for your commissioner, the losers of your league. Again, we're about halfway through the fantasy season, so start preparing for those championships, right? Start getting all these products. So trophysmack.com/WOFF. WOFF. All right. Before we get into some of these questions, Joe, hit us with the injuries.
Yeah, because I was definitely supposed to look up what the injuries were and put them on a sheet.
That's all right. I did it for you, so you're good.
Oh, I didn't. I'm going to be honest.
Look at that. I help you. You help me. It's called teamwork.
Wow, look at that. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even open the injury report document. I went straight to the NFL injury report. So look at you go. Dak Prescott out, placed on IR. Trevor Lawrence questionable, not expected to play. The true number 1 quarterback in Jacksonville, Mac Jones, will be the starting quarterback on Sunday against the Vikings. Seems like another good game for the NFL to flex the Vikings into for Sunday Night Football. Just another horrible team they play in the AFC South. Brian Robinson is out, questionable. Jonathan Brooks leaning towards he'll play. He was a full participant in practice. Travis Etienne, Dearness Johnson, Jamal Williams, Christian McCaffrey also trending towards playing, and Gus Edwards all questionable. Wide receivers out. Chris Olave expected to be placed on IR. Keon Coleman, Michael Pittman, Darius Slayton, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, Juju, Cedric Wilson. Why the hell is he in here? Amari Cooper, Brian Thomas are questionable.
Literally have no wide receivers.
Yeah. Other questionables, Drake London, Deebo Samuel, Jalen McMillan, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. And at the tight end position, oh baby, Tyler Conklin. Him and his 0.7 points last week on the injury report. Look out. You don't want to start Tyler Conklin this week or any other week for that matter. So
there's your injuries.
Those are your injuries. And if you played against Jamar Chase, you yourself have been injured.
I will provide you with the optimism needed because Joe sucks at this. It's okay.
I won't. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys.
I'll be the glass half full. Joe could be the sour patch.
Keep it 100, as they say.
Dude, you're such an old man.
As they say.
All right, friendly reminder, this show is all about you and your start sit questions. So whether you're listening to us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Twitter.
Drop them in the chat. We are here to help. We're going to answer every single one. So sometimes that means we're on here for 90, 95 minutes.
Ideally an hour, but we will stay as long as we need
Very much like 60 minutes, don't get me wrong. But
yeah, like the TV show.
There you go. All right, let's get into it. FBTP. Who we going with first? Tank Dell or Jalen Waddle?
Dell and Baker. Next question. This is a clean sweep.
Yeah, it's Dell and Baker for me as well. Waddle right now, I want nothing to do with. He's basically a wide receiver 5 in fantasy. He's the wide receiver 3 on his own team, and he's falling behind Devon Achane at running back. So,
and Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, Jonnu's been getting very involved in this offense as well lately. So,
yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm not a huge Tank Dell guy, and with the expectation that Nico Collins come back, I think Tank Dell just kind of, just withers away. But he is the number 2 in this offense, so I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. And Baker's the easy call over Caleb Williams. All right, next up, Mr. Magic. You looking at Josh Downs with Pittman out, or DeAndre Hopkins after his 2-touchdown week 9 in a full PPR? Joe.
Downs.
Yeah, Downs pretty easy for me. I do like DeAndre Hopkins, though.
Hop, we'll see. Patrick Surtain. Thank you very much.
See, I don't remember what show it was we were talking about this. The way that they were using D-Hop, though, I don't think he's going to be lined up just on the outside, and Patrick Surtain really doesn't travel in the slot.
Well, he'll see Patrick Surtain more than he should.
And yet DeAndre Hopkins has done pretty well against Denver in his career.
He was young, not 33.
32.
Well,
hey, you're a difference, man. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, you know that, especially being 45 yourself. So
I'm 41. Thank you very much.
It feels like 45.
Oh,
so it's Downs. Downs has been money.
It's Downs, but I do like D-Hop. I know it's Denver, but Denver got waxed last week, and I mean, if the Chiefs' offense has turned that corner,
they haven't. They haven't. They have not put together one full solid game this entire season, and they have the best quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to know why? You want to know why? Defense.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Defense. The offense has not won a single game for them.
I love how steadfast you are in this opinion.
4 sacks in the first. 4 sacks in the first half. Vita Vea has had 4 sacks his entire fucking career, and he had 2 in the first half. He's a run-stuffing defensive tackle, and you allow Kalijah Cansey to run all over all-pro guard Joe Thuney. You can't put together a full game. Teams overthink it against Kansas City. Plain and simple, they overthink it. And if the Bucs win the coin toss, we're not talking about the Kansas City Chiefs as undefeated. But if they win, we're talking about, the Chiefs never got a chance in overtime.
That's fair. The narrative is definitely different.
Too bad there's no fucking team in the AFC that's going to beat them. Unless the Bengals meet them in the playoffs, but the Bengals have no resemblance of a defense. So,
long story short, Magic, yes, this is Josh Downs.
Yeah.
All right, from Chris, PPR wide receiver needs to start 2. Marvin Harrison Jr., Juwan Jennings, Quentin Johnston, or Xavier Legette. We'll get to the running backs next.
Marvin Harrison by default. And then
Jennings has the Bucks.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison's going to see Sauce Gardner in the Jets.
I don't care if he sees Sauce Gardner. He's been horrible this year.
Quentin Johnston likely to see some busted coverage against the Titans.
Yeah, that's
Xavier Legette gets the Giants.
That's what makes me want to lean Johnston, but I don't know. Legette looked fine with Bryce Young, and he's looked okay with Bryce Young. So I'm fine with MHJ and Xavier Legette.
Chris, we're not going to be much help because I am very off on Marvin Harrison Jr. this week. I like Jennings, and I think you chase some upside with Quentin Johnston.
And I'm fine. I'm fine with chasing the upside on Quentin Johnston. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's just big play guy. I think Legette is more consistency, but I have seen enough of the New York Jets this year to know that Sauce Gardner has not been good. He has not been good.
I'm not disagreeing with that aspect of it. I just think that the Cardinals' offense just is not creative with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I don't. And again, agree.
And I think that alone limits his upside.
I agree with that as well. You want to know the least creative human being on planet Earth is head coach, GM, and faux owner of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers. So he is the least creative man on planet Earth. I don't see it. I think I'm not saying Marvin Harrison Jr. crushes this week, but I think of all of these guys, he has the best
Probably
floor.
has the safest floor.
He has the safest floor. Exactly. So then if you want to chase upside with Johnston, fine. I'm okay with that. I think the no is Juwan Jennings, personally.
Really? Against that bad Bucs defense?
Yep.
See, to me, he's the smash start of this.
Nope. McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, Pearsall, Jennings. He's the fifth option in that offense.
I disagree with that. He's seeing no.
He's the fifth option in that offense. So I don't like Jennings.
All right, let's switch gears to the running back position. Tony Pollard or Ramondre Stevenson. Pollard's getting the Chargers, and then Stevenson. Who are the Patriots playing this week?
The Bears. Stevenson.
Bears.
The Bears
allowed
I agree.
3 rushing Pollard's touchdowns last week. Up.
Yeah,
I think Pollard's going to get bottled up against the Chargers. They have one of the better run defenses, if not the best in the league. Stevenson is at least going to get the volume, so I think I trust that a lot more.
Yes.
All right, next up, another one from Mr. Magic. We looking at Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, or Taysom Hill, presumably for the flex.
I think Mr. Magic asked the Taysom Hill question last week. If you started him, congratulations. He did fall in the end zone. So
that's what I said last week anyway. Like with Jamal Williams being out, Kendre Miller on IR, Taysom Hill was the RB2, and that's what happened. He ended up scoring a touchdown.
This is
their lack of wide receivers, though, is going to put Taysom Hill in a position where he has to catch passes.
This is pretty easily Keenan Allen for me. Marcus Jones, I'm fine. Like I like Marcus Jones out of the slot. I like when he's in there. He's tight on coverage, but he's been beat. And Keenan Allen with his veteran savvy and insane route running, I like Keenan Allen this week.
If they hadn't had such a big split between Eckler and Chris Rodriguez, I would be all over Austin Eckler this week.
But the Steelers defense, I would be okay if they weren't playing the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Eckler brings the value, though, as a pass catcher, so I'm less concerned about really anything else there. But, yeah, I think I got to lean Keenan Allen. It's just a better matchup. And
Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Allen.
I'll give Wendy a quick shout-out here. She's going to be at the Bears game. Hey, maybe get some tailgate interviews. There you go. Let's have some fun with it, Wendy.
Oh, my God.
All right, from Anthony, with Dak Prescott out for a while, is this good news or bad news for Rico Dowdle?
Has Rico Dowdle ever been in the good news sentence? I'm confused. He seems
to be like pouring salt water on everything this morning. Jesus.
Look, it's. I feel like Rico Dowdle's been in the obituary page all 10 weeks of the NFL season because he's.
Of course, we say this after he had the top 20 week last week.
Congratulations! Do you want to throw a fucking party? Like, what do you want? I don't. They've had one 15-yard run this year. I think they finally got that last week. So, no, I don't think it's good because Think about this. Teams had to respect Dak Prescott in the passing game. In theory, they don't need to respect Cooper Rush in the passing game. So the defense you were running against Dak Prescott probably was a little more nickel, maybe some more dime. You can run a straight base defense now against the Dallas Cowboys and be fine. So, no, that's bad news for Rico Dowdle. Nothing is good news for Rico Dowdle. His top 20 week, he dropped the football 3 times and ended up landing in his lap in the end zone. That's why he was a top 20 running back. None of this is good news for Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's good news. I don't think it's bad news because I don't really think the news can really get any worse for Dowdle. He hasn't had a great season. Like, his usage has been very up and down. The season kind of feels lost. The early reports on Dak that they put him on IR and he's likely to miss 6 to 8 weeks. This season's already going down the shitter. A lot of their key defensive players are continually questionable. So it's really just kind of meh at this point. But
yeah,
he's going to see some usage. He has to. I think the biggest misleading point when you're looking at Cooper Rush, everybody wants to focus on that 5-1 record as a starter. That was with a much better Dallas Cowboys defense. This defense is straight ass.
And offensive line and run game.
Yeah,
so,
they have not been good altogether. So,
and I was like, because I feel get CeeDee Lamb questions. I don't think that's a bad thing for CeeDee Lamb because they're going to have to throw
with volume.
Exactly. That's not a bad thing for CeeDee Lamb. Not a bad thing for Jake Ferguson. Those 2 guys are going to be fine. Everybody else, it's the same Dallas Cowboys. Truly, it's the same Dallas Cowboys, if not worse.
Absolutely. Quick shout out to Caesar, throwing out memberships to the crowd. Absolutely love it. If you haven't already, if you're new to the stream, hit the like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Doing a lot of great things over here. We're live. We drop shows 6 days out of the week. We're live 5 other days out of the week. We're constantly pumping out content. We love each and every one of you guys for everything that you bring to the table and continually showing us love and support. And of course, if you want to get your question to the top of the line, we have that super chat feature that helps you skip the line and get your questions answered first. So, but hey, we love it when you stick around for the whole show because we like to think we've got some pretty good insight as things go on. So, just not Joe. He's full of pessimism over there.
I'm here for the comedic aspect and to tell you the right things. So
there you go. From Orange, full PPR, 2 flexes open. You starting Jordan Addison, Rico Dowdle, Calvin Ridley, or Jalen Waddle. They can pick up Leggett, Demario Douglas, Rome Odunze.
I'm dropping Rico Dowdle and Jalen Waddle, picking up Rome Odunze and Xavier Leggett. Just in general, I would do
that as well.
I'd probably play Addison in Odunze. I think.
This feels like another, or at least it should be a good Rome Odunze game. But I'm very high on
Odunze would be leading the NFL in fucking touchdowns and yardage if Caleb Williams could hit him in the hands.
This is true.
We would be talking about how we talked about Malik Neighbors to start the year is how we'd be talking about Rome Odunze if Caleb could actually hit Rome Odunze. Go back and look at all the passes Caleb has just not even like it's hit Odunze in the hands. It's been 10 yards ahead of him down the field. So you got to assume Odunze is going to have a week this week against the Patriots. Everybody has a week against the Patriots. I'm between Addison and Leggett, but I will go Addison. The fucking Jacksonville defense is atrocious. So I will go Addison and Odunze. Only thing that worries me, obviously, with Addison is that Justin Jefferson could just, pull a Jamar Chase.
He definitely could, but they look for Addison in the end zone. I mean, he caught a touchdown last week.
They do. Yeah, he's a red zone.
So I think that, in essence, is going to keep his floor raised.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to continue to play it safe, I think Addison and Leggett would be your starts here. But I'm with you, Joe. I'm dropping Rico Dowdle. I'm dropping Jalen Waddle, picking up Leggett, Odunze. I think this is a down Ridley week. We've got Will Levis coming back at quarterback. Like I said, the Chargers defense, the best scoring defense in the NFL this year. So I think this is going to be a down Ridley week, and he really hasn't figured out the chemistry with Will Levis. So I think if you want to shoot for upside, it would be the Addison Odunze. If you're, maybe didn't play against Jamar Chase and you kind of want some safe options because you have some other boom options in your lineup, Addison and Leggett to me would be the way to go.
Well, just real quick on the chart, I want to bring up the Chargers because Josh, you had mentioned to start the year that they will see a cupcake schedule.
Yeah.
To start the year, because you said the bet could be last team to be
that they
undefeated.
win the division. Yeah,
well, win the division or last team to be undefeated.
Yeah,
because they had an early bye week and all these things. Obviously, I called you stupid, but has their defense played well? Yes, their defense played well. Here's what I think people maybe need to pump the brakes on a little bit. They have seen nobody this year. They have seen the Raiders, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Chiefs, yes, the Chiefs, Broncos, Cardinals, Saints, Browns. They will see the Titans this week. For those of you worried, if you're looking at some matchups heading into the playoffs, you have the Bengals. You have players on the Ravens. You have players on the Falcons. Don't be worried. This Chargers team is yet to be tested this year. And I'm not saying that they're bad. But their secondary, outside of Derwin James, is not all it's cracked up to be. Their pass rush, is there even
really
one?
hasn't been there.
They don't have one.
They're stopping the run really well.
They're a really good run defense. So let's see you stop Jamar Chase. Let's see you stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Let's see you stop Bijan, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, a very high-powered offense in Atlanta. Let's see you stop these teams, and then we can start worrying and talking about the Chargers as a legit, contending team maybe in future years. I just wanted to bring that up, that props to you. You did call that out because they've literally played nobody.
It's been a cupcake schedule, yeah.
They've played nobody. Next week starts their schedule of, okay, we have to really buckle down and figure this out. But for the crowd of Joe Burrow's overrated, that crowd that started the year, check that shit. Joe Burrow's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
I saw a post where they grabbed a couple screenshots from Twitter, and somebody called Joe Burrow NFL's Trey Young, doing all this damage on a bad team, and I just started laughing.
I mean, the Bengals point differential is +8, and they're 4-6. They have the second.
I thought Lou Anarumo, or however the fuck you pronounce his last, I thought he was a good defensive coordinator.
No.
Damn, it is just not showing
Lou
up. Lou
Anarumo is a good defensive coordinator against the Kansas City Chiefs. Against everybody else, he is like Josh McDaniels as a head coach. It's not good. It's not good.
Oh,
Continue.
Man. Not good. All right, another one from Orange. Do I trade Lamar for Cooper Kupp and Hunt? God, no, you're never trading Lamar Jackson.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Lost Olave and
DK. It's not even a good return either. Fine. If you're getting Jamar Chase back, maybe. But I also understand, too, trading quarterbacks in a single QB and a redraft, you're not going to get those high-powered options like, Jefferson, Chase, Garrett Wilson, those types of players. Still be getting more than Cooper Kupp and Kareem Hunt.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
I understand wanting to replace Olave and DK. DK should be fine after the bye week. There's been all reports that he's fine after the bye week. And look, if you're trading for Cooper Kupp, he's been injured. So that doesn't give you injury security. Yeah. And you're not trading Lamar Jackson. Unless you have Jaden Daniels or Josh Allen, you're not trading Lamar Jackson.
They do mention that they have Kirk Cousins as the other quarterback.
That's fine, but even then, the rushing upside with Lamar it's too good.
Yeah, I agree. And Kareem Hunt's not making that up. So
no.
From Jason, if London is out, has to start one in the flex, you going Ricky Pearsall, Kyle Pitts, or Jalen Warren?
I'm going to back up what I said about Jawan Jennings. Yes, the Tampa Bay defense is bad, but Ricky Pearsall is the guy ahead of Jawan Jennings right now. So I'll go.
So you're unwilling to start the fifth option, who you claim is Jawan Jennings, but you're willing to start the number 4 option, which we've seen in this San Francisco offense isn't a great option either on a regular basis.
Yeah, but they're actively trying to get Ricky Pearsall involved in the game plan.
A 16% target share is actively trying to get him involved.
End arounds. He's getting the ball in the run game. I don't know what to tell you. Ricky Pearsall. You're going to start Kyle Pitts or Jalen Warren?
I would be happily starting Kyle Pitts right now. And against the Saints, are you kidding me? I'm all about... Dude, Kyle Pitts is like a month straight of 10-plus fantasy points.
I will never willingly
Name me a game where Ricky Pearsall's done that.
He was shot, Josh. He was shot.
It doesn't matter what happened the first 2 months of the season. What have you done for me lately?
Listen, I am never willingly starting Kyle Pitts in a flex position. No.
Well, right now he offers more upside than any of these two.
The moment you do that, it's a goosey.
Jason, I want to know who your other tight end is that you're including Kyle Pitts into a flex spot, because it's got to be like I'm assuming it's like a Trey McBride, Dalton
George
Kincaid, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, somebody of that nature.
Ricky Pearsall. Thank me later, Jason. McBride. There you go. It's Trey McBride. Jason, thank me later. Ricky Pearsall. Thank me later.
Whatever. Am I crazy for starting Cousins over Daniels?
Yes. Respectfully, yes.
Yeah, no. There's the only way I'm sitting Jaden Daniels is if he's hurt or he's on a bye.
As if he's dead.
Or if I have Lamar Jackson over him. That's about it.
You can't. I understand the worry of Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin and his defenses play well against rookie quarterback. You know, they play well in general. I don't care. If this was a pocket passing quarterback, sure, then we have a discussion here. Daniels can just run. Yeah. I love TJ
and
Watt.
I do think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good week against the Saints.
I think he will too. And I love TJ Watt. I have him in fantasy. I have him on a team that I played against Jamar Chase this week. So I love a 5-sack game out of TJ Watt this week to really supplement that 70 points Jamar Chase shoved up my ass. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think TJ Watt is going to disrupt, but Jaden Daniels is good enough to escape the pressure. We'll get to him a couple times, but Jaden Daniels is good enough to escape the pressure.
Yeah, and the way he's been playing like a savvy veteran. He hasn't really looked like a rookie much this year either.
Correct, yes.
So, all right, different league. If London's out, would you go with Josh Downs or Devonta Smith?
God, I always hate Devonta Smith questions. He right now is the epitome of 1 for 12, 4 for 87 and a touchdown. And we all know, like, if Devonta Smith was on 20 of these NFL teams, he'd be the wide receiver 1, and we'd be talking about him as a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy football. If he was on the Bills, he might be the wide receiver 1 in fantasy football, maybe 2, because Jamar Chase is out of his fucking mind. I think they run the score up on Dallas. Devonta Smith. I think they run the score up. But the issue is that score like 700 yards on the ground from Saquon Barkley? And I mean that literally, like Saquon could break the rushing record this week?
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, they've literally shown clips of him where Sirianni's coming up to him on the bench and like, hey,
do you want to break it? But
and he's like, dude, get everybody else involved. Like,
but Josh, here's the thing. The guy could get 300 yards at halftime. That's how bad this Dallas defense is.
You are not wrong. Kellen Moore being the Eagles offensive coordinator, former Dallas offensive coordinator, who probably should have gotten a shot to be their head coach before they hired Mike
McCarthy. They're going to run up the score.
They're going to put up 50 on the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're going to run up the score. So that's why I'm okay with Devonta Smith this week. If not, it would probably be Josh Downs. But divisional matchup, all that, that rivalry shit, and it's prime time, 425 in Dallas. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, it's Smitty for me as well. Big Lou played against Jamar Chase. So he
same,
no
Dad.
Look, your son may not be willing to help you, Lou. I am. It's okay.
I'm not.
You can hit me up in the DMs.
No.
It's fine. I'll be more than happy to help you. We can get this back on track.
Look, you can ask your question and we'll answer it. It's not going to change the outcome of your game this week. That's all I'm saying.
All right, from Combat Cash Club, PPR with Kenneth Walker on a bye. He's got to start one of ETN or Bigsby.
ETN, receiving upside, right? It's PPR.
It is PPR, yeah. Right now, Bigsby is off the injury report. ETN is still dealing with a hamstring injury. I believe ETN did play last week, but he wasn't all that effective.
He's been bad this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Bigsby's just the safest option, truthfully.
He's definitely he's much safer. And you could argue higher touchdown upside.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bigsby. I don't like it, but Bigsby.
Bigsby for right now, if they rule ETN in, I'm probably going to play him only because with Mac Jones there, I don't really think they're going to be. I don't think they can lean on the run, I guess is really what I'm getting at.
Hey, Mac Jones.
I know you think he's the best quarterback in Jacksonville, but
no. I think
Brian Flores knows him pretty well. So.
I think Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback too. Brian Flores was not there with Mac Jones, by the way. He was.
I know that, but he played against him.
Listen,
he coached in Miami. Remember that.
Listen. All you need to know is that Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback to ever come out of Alabama. All right, and I say that knowing that there's zero competition of any quarterbacks that have ever come out of Alabama. All right, so he's top 5 immediately when you think about it. Top 5 quarterback ever coached by Nick Saban. You're telling me he's not going to shock the world this week against Minnesota?
No.
Look out.
Well, I will say backup quarterbacks do seemingly play pretty well in their first starts. I mean, that is historical, truthfully.
Well, let me tell you.
Especially former starting quarterbacks.
Let me tell you. Look out. All right? Look out.
I mean, this could very easily be a letdown game for Minnesota. It's a road game, easy to overlook with a backup quarterback.
Hey, all I'm saying, just wait until Mac Jones puts up 4 touchdowns. 3 of them might be to the other team, but he's going to have 4. All right? I mean that literally. There's an Andrew Van Ginkel pick 6 waiting to happen on a screen route. I know it. And if it happens, clip this at 31 minutes. Clip this shit. And we're playing it on Wednesday. Because Van Ginkel's had 2 of those this year. He's due for one right now.
He's due
Come
for
on.
a third, right?
Yep, due for a third.
I'll have to say, probably better just to go the safe route with Bigsby. All right, for Mobbin, we got Austin Eckler or Tyrone Tracy, full PPR. I think this is pretty easily Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy, next question.
Yeah, this is a very easy one. Tyrone Tracy should smash in Germany this week. Shale v Gaming? Sure, we'll go with that. Sure. Start 1, Jordan Addison, Brian Thomas Jr., or DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I think he's got Kylian Mbappe in the profile picture. Mbappe. Okay. Addison.
I think I'd lean Hopkins here. I think there's a better combo of volume and upside with Hopkins. I love BTJ, but with him being questionable, chest injury, all that stuff worries me a little bit.
Yeah, but again, the greatest quarterback to ever come out of Alabama, Mac Jones, is now in.
Well, we all know he's throwing 3 touchdowns to the Vikings and not to BTJ. So
4 total. He could catch 1. Yeah. No, Addison.
No, that's going to ETN with the last question.
Is it, though? I feel like it's going to Brenton Strange.
Probably, honestly.
Yeah.
David X, you go in a PPR league. Amari Cooper, Juwan Jennings, or TJ Hawkinson?
I mean, I don't like Cooper coming off the injury. I know it's not like anything crazy, but I don't know, if Cooper's healthy, probably Cooper.
I mean, that's kind of the biggest question, though, right? Like, is he healthy?
Yeah, it's all right. So Cooper, if he's healthy, if he's not healthy, I know you'll say Jennings. I mean, I might say Jennings at that point too, because Jacksonville's defense is so bad. I don't know if TJ Hawkinson gets that involved again, because I think the receivers just eat up so much.
I mean, there's plenty of opportunity for the tight ends here. We saw what Josh Oliver did last week. And it wasn't like
agreed.
TJ Hawkinson wasn't involved. They were using him. I think it was more just like an ease in game, like, just trying to get him back used to the game action.
I think if you're sitting here, let's say Amari Cooper's out. I think Amari Cooper's a start, but Amari Cooper's out. If you need upside, I would go Juwan Jennings. If you just need like a safe 8 to 12 points, I would go Hawkinson.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think Hawkinson is probably the safest option. With Cooper, it's been, he'll catch a touchdown, 1 catch, barely anything. Then he's hurt. There's just a lot of back and forth with Cooper. I don't trust him at all. I think Jennings is by far the ceiling play here. So, I mean, if you win against somebody, that played Thursday night and we know how many fantasy points were up in that game, like, I'm probably going with Jennings and shooting for the upside. Otherwise, I think it's okay to play it safe with Hawkinson. That's kind of where I'm at on this.
Yep. Agreed.
Next question. From Derek.
Leggett.
Half PPR. Yeah,
Leggett.
Jalen Waddle, Xavier Leggett. Honestly, Jalen Waddle shouldn't even be on rosters right now.
I will preface this. Any Jalen Waddle, I challenge you in a real roster situation. I challenge you to give us a Jalen Waddle question where we say Jalen Waddle, because I think we've said Waddle once this year.
Yeah,
Out of all
hasn't
10
been
weeks,
often.
I think we've said Waddle once. So I truly, like, in a real roster situation, I truly challenge anybody listening to give us a reason to start Jalen Waddle. That's all.
I'm still looking for it. It's Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, Xavier Leggett by far.
All right, from Cap for Life, in the flex, you going Jalen McMillan, Jalen Tolbert, or Demarcus Robinson? Joseph.
Robinson? It could been consistent the last 2 weeks. I know he's on the injury report.
No,
so
he's
Demarcus Robinson?
No, that's it's a different Robinson that's on the injury report.
Oh, so I don't know. I thought I saw
Jalen McMillan is on the injury report.
Yeah, I do know that. I'm sorry. I thought on CBS, I thought I saw Demarcus Robinson was on the injury report. Might have been looking at a wrong guy. I mean Robinson. I don't think there's much here. I mean, you really got to hope for a lot out of Jalen McMillan, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's Robinson for me. Jalen Tolbert's been pretty well involved, but again, I mean, you're dealing with
he is
Cooper
questionable.
Rush here and
Robinson is questionable. I wasn't wrong on that. Thank you.
he's not.
I think it'll be fine, but yeah. Toe/hip
not
says
officially questionable because of the Rams play Monday. Their injury report doesn't technically come out till later today.
Yeah, it actually should come out now, ironically. Well, though they're West Coast, so it'll probably come out a little later. Yeah.
But no, it's Robinson for me. I think he offers the best floor and upside amongst all this group.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Next from Jeff, Brian Thomas Jr. or Calvin Ridley? This could answer itself.
It could, but I'd rather Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I mean, if Brian Thomas Jr. plays, that's who I'm going over Ridley. What I'm getting at is the Jags play at 1, where Brian Thomas Jr. is questionable. The Titans play at 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. If Brian Thomas Jr. is ruled out, you can very easily pivot.
You play
to
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, but
you're not going to like it.
The answer to this
Calvin
question,
Ridley.
if both are healthy, it's Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas.
All right. We still got quite a few questions. Cool. Friendly reminder: drop everything in the chat. We're here to answer your questions. You're here for 60 minutes, probably closer to 90, because this is about the time when everybody starts dropping their questions. If you haven't already, hit the like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or wherever you are listening to this podcast after we upload it. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. We greatly appreciate it as we continue to grow. And we can handle the criticism, I promise you.
I can't.
You're probably wrong, but we can handle it. It's okay.
I can't. I cry. I weep.
Joe crying is hilarious.
I weep.
Devonta Smith or DeAndre Hopkins, Joe?
Devonta Smith and the Eagles 7 million points this week.
Yeah, it's Smitty for me.
The only thing stopping the Eagles from scoring 50 points is Nick Sirianni.
Probably. Kellen Moore is going to run up that score, and it's going to be glorious.
Yes.
I can't wait. Especially if Micah Parsons plays and they hang 50 on that defense. That's going to be great. Mm-hmm. All right, from Kai, we got 2 wide receivers. A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Darnell Mooney, Devontae Adams. I think it's the first 2 pretty easily.
The first 2, yep.
But I will say, I think you can make a case for Mooney over Lamb this week.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't. That's the only.
If you don't
thing
feel comfortable with Cooper Rush, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, if we're talking the Eagles are going to run up the score, why are they going to continue to trot out CeeDee Lamb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
That's valid. All right. And then 2 wide receivers, Gibbs, Monty, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift.
Swift and flip a coin on the Detroit running backs. Yeah.
Who do the Lions play this week? Lions play the Texans this week.
In Houston on Sunday Night Football. I'd flip a
Gibbs.
coin. I would go Gibbs.
Yeah. I think
normally I'm always leaning Jahmyr Gibbs. If you have both of them, always leaning Jahmyr Gibbs. He has the more explosive play opportunity and more PPR upside. If you have both of them,
it's definitely Gibbs and Swift for me as well. And then we need 1 flex. So if we're going AJ Brown, Lamb, Gibbs, Swift, you going Mooney, Adams, Monty, or Hunt in the flex.
Play both the Detroit running backs then. If not, you're
I
playing
think for me,
Mooney.
it depends what the setting is. If it's PPR, I might lean Mooney over Monty.
I don't care. I'm starting. David Montgomery's a better chance getting in the end zone than Darnell Mooney.
I agree with that.
That's why I'm starting. That's why I'd go Monty.
What, in 6 of 8 games, he scored a touchdown?
Something like that.
7 of 8, something like that. Yeah, he's about as automatic to get in the end zone as you can. So, yeah, I agree with that. Here's a fun one for you, Joe. Tua Tagovailoa or CJ Stroud?
Oh. I mean, Miami's in warm weather, so Tua.
Yeah, there's you can't pay me to start CJ Stroud right now.
Yeah, how badly I want to say CJ Stroud, but Tua.
Yeah, I mean, if Nico is back, like I'm definitely more confident in CJ Stroud, but
no, Tua.
Yeah,
Tua against the Rams. Well. Warm weather, dome, LA. That's Tua's weather.
I agree. Kind of similar question we've had today: Juwan Jennings or Amari Cooper if he plays full PPR.
We just had this question. Amari Cooper if he plays against Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, if Cooper plays, sure. I still think Jennings has the highest upside. So just kind of
sure. Jennings has a high upside. His floor is just really fucking low.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. From Daniel. Traded Devonta Smith and Josh Jacobs for Nico Collins and Tony Pollard. Thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, that's fine. Nico Collins is more consistent than Devonta Smith. Josh Jacobs and Tony Pollard have been the same guy.
Yeah, Jacobs has scored a few more touchdowns.
Yeah, a couple more touchdowns, but they've been the same guy.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm fine with that. I like more consistency out of Nico.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if there's any hamstring aggravations. I think is really the biggest thing because hamstrings are really tricky. But I think in a vacuum, it's definitely the Nico and Tony Pollard side. Yeah. Second part of this question: DeAndre Hopkins over Juwan Jennings for the rest of season. Who you take?
Yeah, 100% DeAndre Hopkins the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, Jennings is now kind of a little lower in the pecking order. I'm not ready to put Ricky Pearsall above him, but a healthy Christian McCaffrey is going to put the wide receiver 2 in this offense as basically the 4th option in this passing attack.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Real quick before you go into
Hopkins for me as well.
A couple other things. Drew mentions Nico Collins won't fix Stroud's offensive line. Correct.
Facts.
Very. And Kai brought up having a hard time sitting Adams against the Cardinals, so that helps. And this is the one I wanted to bring up. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by what the Jets did last week. Jalen Petrie was the guy Devontae Adams caught his touchdown against. For those who don't watch the other side of the football, don't know the defensive players, here's who Jalen Petrie is. Jalen Petrie is a third-year safety, and he's a damn good safety. He's had to play out of position in the slot. Devontae Adams has been a top 5, if not the best route-running wide receiver in the NFL over the last 8 seasons. Devontae Adams against Jalen Petrie is one of the biggest mismatches you will ever see this entire NFL season.
It's like an all-pro going against a peewee corner.
Fully. So I saw them line up there, and I was like, why the fuck is Jalen Petrie on Devontae Adams? Or maybe they're disguised, maybe he's blitzing off the edge. No. In Devontae Adams, what did he do? He did his shake and bake fade route that him and Aaron Rodgers have been running since the Vietnam War, and it was the easiest touchdown the New York Jets have had all season. Do not be fooled by what the New York Jets did last week. They are still the New York Jets. And until they prove it for 2 to 3 weeks straight, I am saying that same thing. Do not be fooled by what Devontae Adams did against a bad Derek Stingley in Jalen Petrie. Now, I'm not saying Arizona has a good secondary. What I am saying is I think they have a better defensive scheme than the Houston Texans have had this year. The Texans have struggled on defense, especially in the secondary. Don't be fooled by what you saw last week. That's all I have to say about that.
I will say I do think the Jets offense is starting to turn a corner. I'm not ready to buy completely in. So I'm with you on that, Joe.
They're on the first of 4 turns at Daytona, so they have a long way to go.
There you go. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. All right, this one from Drew might sound silly.
What a question.
Parker Washington or Marvin Harrison Jr. in a PPR?
Drew.
This is a
Drew.
wild question. And Drew, let me
Drew.
tell you, you are overthinking this way too much, buddy.
Drew. Did you smoke a little too much this morning? Did you accidentally, you put some mouthwash in after you brush your teeth? Did you use whiskey this morning? Absinthe, maybe. Drew, I appreciate. I'm not gonna. I don't think it's as outlandish as a question, maybe, because you are right. Marvin Harrison has been a disappointment, straight up. Other rookie wide receivers have been good this year. Marvin Harrison has been a disappointment. So, Parker Washington
has not scored 8 PPR points yet this season.
Yet, and he's due. That's what it is. He's due.
Shut up.
He's due. Parker Washington does have a good matchup. I have no doubt about that. And normally, something we like to say is when backup quarterbacks come in, it tends to elevate those third to fourth string guys on the roster.
This is true.
Because that's who they're normally practicing with as their X and Y receivers in backup situations. However, we're not doing this. And he brings up Marvin Harrison's had 5 games under 6 points. Well, Parker Washington's had every game under 6 points, pretty much. So
every game under 8.
Under 8 points. Drew, I don't want you to be scared of Sauce Gardner. He has taken a lot of giant step back. He has, I know, last year was like Sauce Gardner, Pat Surtain, like those are the top 2 dogs. It's Pat Surtain
and everybody else.
And Sauce Gardner right now might not even be top 5. He has struggled mightily this season. Kayshon Boutte fucking toasted him by 3 yards on that deep route on that. He was getting roasted by Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. What? That's not good. So the only worry with Marvin Harrison is the Jets' run defense has been horrendous this year. And the Cardinals were running the football very well last week. So that is something that I can understand from here. You're chasing a shit ton of upside with Parker Washington.
Yeah, you're really chasing.
With that, the floor is not there. If you played against Jamar Chase, play Parker Washington.
Yeah, at that point, what do you have to lose? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's honestly the only time I would really try to get too cute. Basically, when you're down, I know 70. That it's a 99% chance that I'm losing. Like, all right, fine. Even if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play, Parker Washington's not built like a wide receiver 1.
Okay, he did play against Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews.
Okay.
You know what?
I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, Drew. But
you know what, Drew?
I might be willing to at that point.
You know what, Drew? Fuck it, we ball. Get cute. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, because you know what? You know what's gonna happen? You start Marvin Harrison, you're gonna be upset when he plays badly, but you'll be happy if he plays well. Parker Washington, if he plays poorly, you're like, well, that's Parker Washington. But if he ends up scoring a touchdown, maybe 80 yards, you're like, that's Parker Washington, baby. The elite receiver from the.
And this is why we always say, like, when you're considering like sitting your studs versus like playing somebody that has like
he's not a stud.
And I'm just saying, like, from a name recognition standpoint, like he's a stud in name,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
But like we always say, like, what are you going to be most upset about? That you played the guy that you're chasing points with and he disappoints, or sitting the stud because you wanted to chase the points and then he goes off on your bench. Like it's the same concept.
Parker Washington to the fucking moon this week. I'm going to pick him up right now. I'm going to pick him up right now.
You're going to start him in solidarity. Is that right?
Yeah. Terry McLaurin to the bench. Parker Washington in.
All right. Would you start Juwan Jennings over George Pickens this week?
No, Washington's secondary is bad. Washington's second.
From a fantasy points allowed perspective over the last month, they have been better. A lot better, actually. Complete opposite from the first season. First month.
Awesome. They saw the Giants and the Bears.
Because the Steelers are such a high-powered passing offense. Like,
they've looked better under Russ.
I mean, that's fair. But you sit here and you talk about the Giants like they don't have Malik Neighbors.
And he's been bad since he's come back from his injury.
Okay.
George Pickens hasn't had a bad season. And I'm
He
not.
just can't score touchdowns.
Yeah, George Pickens is the wide receiver 1. Juwan Jennings is in Josh Jai's the 4th option.
Yeah.
I'm not starting the 4th option over George Pickens.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm basically all I'm saying is Washington has been good against wide receivers over the last month or so of the season. That's all the point that I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine starting Pickens over Juwan Jennings. Like,
yeah.
There's plenty of wide receivers that I would not start George Pickens over, but Juwan Jennings is one of them. Because, again, with Christian McCaffrey coming back, we don't expect Juwan Jennings to be, like, lighting up the scoreboard by any means. Go ahead.
They've played the Panthers, Giants, and Bears.
Okay. So it's a Los Angeles Chargers situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, don't act like the Steelers are some high-flying passing offense.
They're not. But George Pickens is a good receiver.
I will say the biggest thing working for George Pickens' favor, newly acquired Marshawn Lattimore is out for this game.
So I didn't give a shit if
you're
Marshawn Lattimore was in.
Bad secondary. So.
Yeah. Boom.
All right. So I think we may have a couple answers to the who would you start Jalen Waddle over question. Waddle or Kayshon Boutte?
This week? Booty. I'm like, this is this is easily Kayshon Boutte. Booty's getting more targets than Jalen Waddle.
He is. Yeah, he is.
That's Caesar. I appreciate you. That's an easy one for me.
This next one though may not be. Jalen Waddle or Malachi Corley?
None of you have Malachi Corley. That's
Dynasty you might.
No. None of you have Malachi. Fun fact, Malachi Corley, should have the same amount of touchdowns as Jalen Waddle this year. So should. Man had balls should be my uncle. Caesar, I know you dropped it. I don't think this is real. I don't think this one's real. I don't want to answer it. You're obviously
he's answering your earlier question. Find a wide receiver that you would start Jalen Waddle
in a real roster situation.
This is what I'm telling you. In Dynasty, if you have a productive struggle team and you have both of these guys because you can't get rid of Jalen Waddle, this is a legitimate question.
Yeah, Waddle. Because Malachi Corley should be in your taxi squad.
Should be.
Yeah.
But maybe not, because not every Dynasty League has a taxi squad.
Okay, then Malachi Corley should be cut. I don't know what's the question here. He should be cut. I don't know what's...
The simple answer, Caesar, they're probably getting you the exact same amount of points.
Yeah, 0.
Start 2. So basically sit 1. We go in Ramondre Stevenson, Austin Eckler, or Jennings. Joe.
Stevenson and Eckler? I don't like Eckler against Pittsburgh. That's my only one caveat.
I think we can agree the start here is Stevenson.
Yeah. Jennings for upside, Eckler for floor.
That's exactly how I would answer it.
There you go. That's what I would do.
All right. With Brian Robinson out, would you start Austin Eckler?
Stop. I like Eckler. I don't like the matchup. Go away.
So, well, let's...
And he throws Taysom Hill in the question. What are we doing? Fang.
Thoughts on starting a Hill in the flex over Najee or Eckler?
If the options are Najee Harris, Eckler, and Hill, I'm starting Najee Harris.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
If the options are Hill or Eckler in the flex, or Hill or Harris in the flex because you're starting Eckler in the running back spot with B-Rob out, it's still Najee Harris.
Well, so let's start here. If you had to sit one of these because you're starting one at running back, one at flex, who you sitting?
Hill.
Okay.
Immediately.
Yeah, I think Hill obviously is the most volatile of all three of these because you just never know how he's going to be deployed in a given week. And like I've been saying for the last couple weeks, if Jamal Williams does not play in this game, Taysom Hill is your flex, plain and simple, because he can cipher the rushing touchdowns, but he's also going to be involved in the passing game with the lack of weapons that the New Orleans Saints have to throw to right now.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that all depends on Jamal Williams, plain and simple. All right. Who Who's winning out of these two teams? So one of them's got Lamar, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Bijan Robinson, Kieran Williams, Mike Gesicki, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brandon Aubrey, Vikings defense. So obviously pretty decent start with Lamar Jackson. The next team, Josh Allen, Tank Dell, Josh Downs, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Evan Ingram, McPherson, Ravens D.
Also has Montgomery on the
got you
team
like
too.
nothing.
In standard they got you -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a standard league, so Scrappy, I believe you're new here. I haven't seen your name. Get out of standard leagues. They're horrible. They're terrible. Mike Gesicki should have 7, not 3 points. That being said, the team with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's the team with Lamar. I think Josh Allen's going to have a good game against the Colts, but I don't think it's going to be 41 points.
Everyone on that team has higher touchdown upside than every one of their counterparts on the opposite team.
Yeah, I agree with wholeheartedly. Kieran has scored in every game this season. Bijan's got a killer matchup. Kupp could easily go for 100 yards. That's 10 points without a touchdown. So, yeah, I think it's team one for me also. All right. He mentions that listen to the Gesicki hype. I get it. I was on board with it. Without T. Higgins, Gesicki's been playing well. So
you can give 2 fat middle fingers to Tanner Hudson is who you can give.
Yeah, they used him a lot this week.
Yeah, you can give 2 fat middle fingers to Tanner Hudson. So
should be fun.
Fuck you, Zach Taylor.
Should be fun.
Respectfully, fuck you.
All right, Jeff wants to know, what should he do with Jordan Mason?
Hold on to him. Nobody's going to take him in a trade.
Yeah.
How do you trade him to the McCaffrey owner? That's
pretty much how I would approach this. We've been basically telling you for the last month plus to trade Jordan Mason while he still had value.
Yeah.
Right now, the only trade piece that you can get for him is the CMC manager's handcuff.
Yep, that's the only value he has. If not, hold on to him. And again, if you don't have McCaffrey, hope McCaffrey gets hurt. That's what you're hoping for.
Yep. All right, from Mr. Magic, rank these 3 rest of season: Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Taylor.
Flip K9 and Jacobs.
That's kind of where I'm at too. I think
I'm looking at
Jacobs, JT.
I'm looking at who the Colts have the rest of the season. Yeah, I'd flip. I would flip K9 and Jacobs.
Jonathan Taylor just hasn't had the upside season that I thought he would.
He has a couple good matchups the next couple weeks against the Jets and the Bills. He'll see the Lions. That's not great. Patriots is a good matchup, but then playoff schedule, if you're making it there with him, Broncos and Titans the first 2 weeks. Those are 2 solid run defenses. He'll see the Giants in championship week, but again, you got to make it there. So I'm going K9, Jacobs, JT.
All right. From Elixirs,
Tracy.
the lone man that still plays in standard leagues.
Scrappy plays in standard leagues.
Okay, fair enough.
We just figured that out. Gesicki only had 3 points. He had 7 in PPR.
Yeah, this is true.
Tracy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. Tyrone Tracy. You should smash this week. All right, from Charlene and Scott Fishbowl. She wants to know, are we risking starting a kick returner like Xavier Gibson or Calvin Austin or Khalif Raymond, or go with Noah Brown, Nick Westbrook-Akine? Alec Pierce needs the high floor must-win situation.
High floor is Calvin Austin.
I agree. Xavier Gibson
he produces on offense.
Yeah, and that's kind of the other side of it too. Khalif Raymond, we saw a massive game from, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So there's definitely that upside there. I think the Texans are a much better defense, but the way that they're involving Calvin Austin in the Steelers offense, he can get both the return yards as well as big play guys. Yeah. So I would lean Calvin Austin here as well. All right. From Joe's burner account, Mr. Ortiz, or how we feeling about Sterling Shepard as a flex option?
I can't say it enough that the San Francisco 49ers secondary is not good. It is not a good secondary. I like Sterling Shepard. I forgot. I listened to the broadcast. Him and Baker were teammates at Oklahoma.
Yep.
So I didn't know that. So that's good. Chemistry rapport there. I'm sure that's the only reason Sterling Shepard still has a job in the NFL. I'm okay there. I wouldn't expect lights out numbers from Sterling Shepard, but I do think he's a solid play. They're trying to get him involved and get him the football because he is good when the ball is in his hands. I'm okay with him as a flex. I'd like to know your other options. But
Yeah,
I'm okay
that's kind of
with
where
him as
I'm
a
at
flex.
too. I think there's upside with Sterling Shepard, but with the lack of wide receiver firepower right now, they're throwing to the tight ends and the running backs. They're not really like keying in on the wide receiver position, which, you know, is understandable. Like Sterling Shepard really hasn't been a good wide receiver option in 6 years, probably. So, but again, he has that rapport with Baker. He looked for him a lot down the stretch, but even then it was 8.8 fantasy points. Like it wasn't anything like crazy.
Yeah.
And when they get into the end zone, they're looking at the running backs and they're looking at Kate Otten. So, to me, he's a very low floor option flex at best. But with the amount of injuries that a lot of people are dealing with,
It's
like
legit.
he's an okay option.
Noah Brown and a couple of backup tight ends. I'm starting Sterling Shepard over them. Yes.
Yeah. All right. From Devin, 7-2 team, 12-man PPR. We going Najee or Pickens this week?
Najee.
We'll get to the quarterbacks in a sec.
Najee, more consistency on the ground.
Yeah, I think there's a safer floor with Najee. You're 7-2. I don't think you really need to chase upside. But again, I don't know what your matchup currently looks like if anybody was playing on Thursday. And then for the next question, you going Russ or Tua?
I don't like either of them. Tua is in a more, I want to say pass happy offense, but it feels like they've been relying on Devon Achane a lot. I'll go Tua. I don't love it, but I'll go Tua.
Well, they're passing to Devon Achane too, so
yeah,
he's going to get passing touchdowns.
The offense is running through Devon Achane.
Yeah,
fully. So I'll go Tua.
Yeah, it's Tua for me as well. I think there's more upside there. All right, from Drew, do you think there's a chance that Pacheco doesn't come back this year and Hunt plays the season out?
No. I mean, regular season, maybe. I don't think there's a reason to rush Isaiah Pacheco back, but Isaiah Pacheco will be back at some point this year. Like, I think maybe like late December. I wouldn't hold on to him in fantasy if this is kind of where the question's going. I think Kareem Hunt is pretty safe in fantasy through November.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not really worried about Pacheco coming back. This team's 8-0. They don't need to rush him back. Kareem Hunt's doing his thing. At the end of the day, you just want to make sure that Pacheco's healthy enough to get back for the playoff push.
For the playoffs. Yeah. That's all they're worried about.
All right. So back to kind of the Taysom Hill thing. Is he playing running back for them this week? Look, he's always playing running back for them. This is what he does. He steals rushing touchdowns. He's been a thorn in Alvin Kamara's side for however many years now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm basically getting at is if Jamal Williams does not play, they do not have a backup running back to Alvin Kamara. So Alvin Kamara is going to take 90+% of the running back share. And then you're going to get those like wildcat style offenses, formations or whatever, where Taysom Hill comes in, rushes for 5 yards for a first down or steals a rushing touchdown inside the 5, because that's just what he does. But with the dearth of wide receivers that these Saints currently have now, because their top 3 guys are really top 4 guys are all on IR, you have to throw to somebody. So they involved Foster Moreau last week. Taysom Hill caught 4 passes. They will throw him the football. So that's why I say there's a lot of upside with Taysom Hill this week. You don't love it because it's Taysom Hill and he's the most volatile fantasy asset in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
But his value exponentially goes up if Jamal Williams is out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Kendre's on IR for some dumb
Correct.
fucking reason. And I think finally dynasty managers will rejoice when he's off IR and Dennis Allen's no longer the head coach.
Well, Dennis Allen is no longer the head coach.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is everyone was saying the reason like Dennis Allen did not like Kendre Miller for some reason?
No, at all. Yeah, I saw something about like the coaching staff and the front office were confused when Dennis Allen actually put Kendre Miller on IR.
Like he just
and
got
I saw
off
like people
IR.
were trying to start a petition to reinstate him and get him off IR simply because the head coach had a vendetta against him.
I'm like, crazy. I was sitting there. I'm like, he just fucking came off IR. What do you mean? Stupid. Fuck Dennis Allen.
All right, we got, it looks like 2 more questions. So start 1, you going Jameson Williams or Juwan Jennings this week?
JMO. Well, we're talking about high upside guys, right? Jameson Williams
Yeah.
has more upside.
Honestly, I think you could argue that Jameson Williams probably has a safer floor too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, 100% because he's the wide receiver too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. But yeah, big playability, Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I think I would go Jameson Williams also, coming off the suspension. He obviously adds a very different element to this Detroit Lions offense. So I think that they're going to want to get him involved, especially against the Texans with, getting Nico back. They should be able to pass the ball a little bit better. But again, I understand the offensive line issues that Houston is dealing with right now. But yeah, to me, this is Jameson Williams all day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last question, Joe. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Need some advice. Full PPR. Got to pick 2. Need a wide receiver and a flex. Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Ray Davis, Roshan Johnson. Let's start there.
Okay, wide receiver. Worthy, okay, Pearsall. Xavier Worthy's a ghost.
Yeah, he is.
You'd think that maybe they would use their first round pick. Would the Chiefs, whom they traded up for. And then Ray Davis. I feel like he has more opportunity than Roshan Johnson right now. I know Johnson.
Really?
I think so.
I think that's a complete misnomer because Ray Davis has like an explosive play every once in a while. They've been using Roshan Johnson inside the red zone.
He has been less than productive in the red zone. That's the thing. Like I have him on one of my teams. He did. He had 7 carries for fucking 9 yards. What is that doing for me? Ray Davis has the opportunity to give you a big play. Roshan Johnson does not. So that's where I'm at.
Yes.
With Davis.
I think there's more consistent opportunity with Roshan Johnson.
Sure, that's fine.
And I think truthfully, that's kind of what you have to chase. I mean, he said, yeah, I mean, he definitely hasn't been sexy, but he has 4 rushing touchdowns this year. Ray Davis does not have that.
He does. The issue is those 4 rush touchdowns. He's had no more than 8 fantasy points in those games because it's been the touchdown.
He's twice scored over 10.
It's been the touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Ray Davis is
I mean, you're banking on that. I agree.
Yeah, you're fully banking on touchdown, which could easily happen against the Patriots. And they need a get-right game to the Bears. But
I mean, and to your point, I mean, if you take out the game where he started in week 6, 2 of his last 3, he's been over 10 fantasy points. Ray Davis has.
I'm going Ray Davis. And then defense, Jets.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I think you convinced me.
Yeah, defense, Jets. Reality, drop the Texans and go pick up the Falcons or something like that. Those are 2 defenses you don't want this week. But if it's between those 2, it's the Jets.
That I agree with. Yeah, they have, I'll say, easier matchup against the Cardinals. From Robbie, 12-man PPRs, got Stafford, Derrick Henry, Amon St. Brown, George Pickens.
Kent? Kareem Hunt, maybe?
I think maybe. Well, I was thinking Komet.
Okay,
probably just auto-corrected. Phil 2 from DeAndre Hopkins, Tyrone Tracy, and DeAndre Swift. This is easily the running backs for me.
Yeah,
Tracy and Swift.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
It's pretty easy. All right. Do we think DJ Chark has any shot at making some noise now that he's activated?
Unless he's
this is around the time of the year that he comes off IR and somehow manages 60 targets over the final weeks of the season.
Unless he's banging a trash can on the sideline like the Houston Astros were in 2017, he's not making any noise. So,
yeah, the way that the young wide receivers have started to kind of show some life with the Chargers, I don't really think that DJ Chark is going to be much of it.
There's nowhere for him to find a spot on that offense right now.
Yeah, I agree. Quentin Johnston has been hurt, so I think if he does end up ultimately getting hurt again or Josh Palmer gets hurt again, there's a way for Chark to make some noise. But yeah, I think they're pretty well set with Johnston, Palmer, and Ladd McConkey as their starting 3. So, all right, got a trade offer of Jameson Williams and a first-round pick for Monroe St. Brown.
I assume this is a keeper league.
It's got to be if it's redraft. It's got to be.
Yep. I assume it's a keeper league. And I would Yeah, I'm fine with that. If
I'm
you're
not taking that trade.
well,
I've been down on Amon-Ra this year because the Lions just have so much in on this offense. Jamison Williams is not going to make the kind of impact. And if it's a keeper league, that first is more like a third. If you really stop and think about it.
I like the first.
Yeah, that's dynasty brain.
I like the first.
I'm keeping Amon-Ra.
That's fine.
But
that's fine.
All right. Only 70 minutes today. Not too bad.
We'll speed up the fucking outro, and then maybe we'll get 700 last minute questions.
Friendly reminder, check out our sister site, Women in Fantasy Football, and our great partnership with Trophy Smack. Go to trophysmack.com/WOFF, WOFF. Get yourself some cool swag for the holidays and for your inevitable fantasy football championships. trophysmack.com/WOFF. Follow Joe at Joe_Zollo. Follow myself at the One Hudsonian over on the socials. You, of course, can follow Club Fantasy at Club Fantasy FFL. URL clubfantasyffl.com. We will see everybody next Saturday for Starts a Different Day. And of course, Monday morning for our recap show with myself, Ryan Weiss, and Mr. Gator J. We will see everybody later. See you.